Good Sunday morning, Northeast Ohio, and a very happy birthday to the U.S. Constitution. Born 230 years ago today in Philadelphia, the document known best by a cartoon-watching generation of Schoolhouse Rock fans for we the people. If you're around my age, don't pretend you don't know the words. The Constitution is a living document, amended to reflect the evolving views of a country. It led to the Voting and Civil Rights Acts of the 1960s. On Friday, a man who was very much at the forefront of those fights was in Cleveland, and I had a chance to talk with Georgia Congressman John Lewis. The history of the civil rights movement of the 1960s cannot be written without the name John Lewis, one of the original freedom riders. He marched and worked alongside Dr. Martin Luther King and spoke at the famous 1963 March on Washington.
We march today for jobs and freedom.
Lewis led the Selma to Montgomery March in 1965 to demonstrate the need for voting rights. The group was confronted and attacked by Alabama state troopers on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. Lewis struck in the head by the nightstick of a trooper. The images helped fuel the passage that year of the Voting Rights Act. Every year he returns with colleagues, yes, but especially students.
I think so many young people know so little about the civil rights movement. Some people said we have a 10-word problem. We know about Rosa Parks. We know about Martin Luther King Jr. We know I have a dream. But people should understand that before we went on a march or participated in a sit-in or going on the freedom ride, we studied. We prepared ourselves. We studied the way of peace, the way of love. We studied the philosophy and the discipline of nonviolence.
Lewis served in Congress for 16 years with Congressman Louis Stokes, the man whose name is inscribed on the award he's presented with this day in Cleveland.
I admired Lou Stokes. I love this man. He was a giant of a man, and he was highly respected by members of the Congress and by people all over America.
And Cleveland was very much a part of civil rights history 50 years ago this November, when Louis Stokes' brother Carl Stokes became the first African-American mayor of a major city when he became mayor of Cleveland. This week, voters decided who the two men who will face off for that seat in November will be. Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson, who is seeking an historic fourth four-year term, and City Councilman Zach Reed, who finished second to Jackson in the field of 9. The margin a little closer than Jackson enjoyed in the past.
That always happens whenever you have some level of concern out in the community. You're going to have different people coming forward to express whatever those concerns may be from their point of view.
50% of the people in the city of Cleveland has spoken loud and clear that they want someone new. And today they spoke loud and clear that they want Zach Reed to be the next mayor of the city of Cleveland.
The Cleveland Browns are in Baltimore this weekend to take on the Ravens. Former Browns great Bernie Kosar out with a new book, Learning to Scramble. This morning we have a rare chance to sit down and talk a little football and politics. In his new book, Learning to Scramble, Bernie Kosar opens up about the hits he took on the field and the hits he took off in the hopes that it might help others.
Some of the great coaches I've had not only have helped me from the football perspective, but have helped me even more importantly from my life experiences.
And talk about experiences, what few people know about Kosar is he is a political junkie. Exposure that started as a player when people like President Reagan would stop by Berea and extend an invitation to the White House.
President Reagan had a big influence on me because he let me kind of have carte blanche around him and around the White House to walk around like that. And I was probably too young to realize how awesome that was, but I definitely hasn't gone unnoticed. Whether you're a D or an R, I think a lot of times maybe that's a little overblown. I enjoy people, and I definitely respect the offices that they hold. You know, getting to know Sherrod Brown, Rob Portman, you know, we call you the governor, the other governor that we have in Columbus. You know, to be a kid from a town that, you know, only saw the politicians in the newspaper, and now to get a chance to be around them, to be at their houses, to learn from them, to get a chance to sit down one-on-one like this, it's an opportunity and a blessing and experiences that I just don't take for granted anymore.
Way of Democracy 2017, I'm John Kosich. Enjoy your Sunday.